Welcome back to Wario Land, and now we have a guest. Would you introduce yourself, good sir?
Hi, I'm Dejimon 11.
Awesome.
Nice to meet you. Well, not meet you. I mean, you've been on quite a few of our playthroughs and commentaries.
Jova, I think the correct term is long time no see.
Long time no see, indeed. So yes, Mount Teapot, as you may recall from the previous Mario Land game.
All right, so
This is technically Mario Land 3.
Where's Mario Land 3?
it is. It's right in the title there. It's called
know.
Wario Land Super Mario Land 3. Basically, Deji.
Yeah, I say technically because, like, well, from first sight, you would automatically categorize this as Wario Land.
Basically, Deji, in Mario Land 2, that was where Wario premiered, and he stole Mario's castle, but Mario basically kicked his butt. So now in Wario Land, he's trying to get his own castle. So this basically the story of this game is that somebody stole Princess Peach's golden statue because apparently Peach has a golden statue of herself. Sure, why not?
It's the origin of Pink Gold Peach.
So yeah, sure, why not? So basically, the pirates, which basically this is also the game that introduces Wario's arch rival, the pirate Captain Syrup. Yes, Syrup. And basically. Wario's trying to see if he can steal the statue so he can, sell it for money before Mario gets it.
Yeah,
of course.
It's kind of interesting how the Mario Land trilogy had an ongoing plot. The first part is Mario rescues Daisy.
Yeah,
the second one is it turns out it was all a distraction so Wario can steal his castle.
The Mario Land trilogy did have kind of continuity, but starting with Wario Land 2, it was basically just money.
Yeah.
It's Wario, so it fits. So.
Mm-hmm. So I do like to think that Mario Land 2 was a clever setup, like for Mario Land 3, where they knew Wario was going to be the protagonist.
I guess.
So is there a reason why we don't have any more Wario Land games instead we just have
WarioWare, yeah.
WarioWare's kind of taken up Wario Land.
We already discussed on this, Pedro. I'm fine with WarioWare, but I would love to see a new Wario Land game, a new proper one,
The problem is that the developers
Wario became more known for the minigame element side of things. We had Wario Land Shake It Up, but
whatever.
We've had Wario Land Shake It Up, but yeah. Aside from that, I'm guessing either Nintendo's biding their time or they're mainly just sort of dealing with Mario handhelds, especially since Super Mario 3D Land has kind of taken up the place for handheld Mario games, whereas handhelds were sort of Wario's.
The thing is, okay, see, Wario, when it comes to 2D Wario Land, you pretty much done everything you could, so much so that Wario Land Shake It, even though it was a pretty damn good game, it was still basically just an amalgamation of everything the previous games had. It didn't really add anything new to the table. Wario World was their attempt at making a 3D Wario game, and it sucked. So honestly, it's not like there's anything more you can do with Wario unless you just rehash everything again, really.
I'd say that there is a lot more new stuff they could do. It just depends on how shrewdly they go about doing it. Because, Wario World is a very wonky case subject. I'll need to definitely re-explore that. How honestly, though, for as wonky as it was, it did still feel like an honest attempt, and it did show that there is potential with a 3D Wario, ask me. I mean, it's actually rather intricate. Now, if it were me, I'd have actually had, Wario be the ones to get the handhelds for the most part, except for when it comes to 3D Land. I really like 3D Land, but that's another story. I'd say that, it might have been best if maybe they let Wario Land, keep keep the limelight when it came to handhelds and, experiment with that stuff. It wouldn't hurt. And then, of course, when you want to say re-released an older Mario game, then use that for handhelds, like with Super Mario 64. I wouldn't say Wario Land's potential had all dried out. There were a lot of new things they could have done with it. However, I think the main issue is the last Wario Land game we got kind of feels like a bit of, let's just say it ain't no beautiful swan song to end on.
There's one flaw in your plan, Jova.
What?
It's not Dark Cloud free. Doesn't matter.
It always comes to Dark Cloud free.
No, trust me, Jova. I wish we didn't have to go that, but the fans keep bringing it up, so...
Wait, what are you talking about?
No, it's a
running
joke.
thing with level 5.
It's a running thing.
Although-
Basically, Deji, the creators of Professor Layton have moved on from their old PS2 games, and the fanboys of those games cannot have...
Since it's coming to the PS4. Granted, that's probably more Sony's.
That's Sony's. Remember, those games are Sony's IPs.
Okay, Deji, backstory. When Level 5 didn't have money and just started, they were developing games as a sub-studio for Sony Computer Entertainment. They did, of course, these 2 games called Dark Cloud and Dark Chronicle, then a completely different game which was Rogue Galaxy, a handheld one called Jeanne d'Arc, and then they had enough money to do their own things, starting with Layton.
But the problem was with the whole Dark Cloud free thing. The fans just don't shut up.
Yes, basically the Dark Cloud
and I never
fan
really
base...
saw the reason for Dark Cloud free, because unlike, say, the likes of Mega Man Legends free or Shenmue free, there's not really any cliffhanger sorts. It's not like the first Dark Cloud was ever really a continuing story of that. It's like, I mean, for all you know, they could just make a new IP and call it Dark Cloud free, and, well, there you go.
I think their argument, for at least the best argument that I've heard, is that there's so much potential with modern consoles for all the concepts that Dark Chronicle had. True, I guess, but the developers moved on. Shouldn't you move on too? Seriously. Go ahead.
Here's what I don't get. What exactly makes a Dark Cloud game a Dark Cloud game?
Okay, allow me. Dark Cloud is... allow me, since I've actually grew up with the games. They're dungeon crawlers, and one of the key characteristics of the Dark Cloud series has that no other RPG series has, is that you can... basically...
Is that a hedgehog?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You have to construct your own towns, and because the world is basically destroyed because of plot reasons. So basically, it's kind of an amalgamation of action Zelda RPG elements with Sims in that regard. So basically, it's a city building simulator combined with an action RPG. And it also has a lot of other different mechanics, like, for example, like you can create inventions and you can experiment with various materials, and you can even take photographs with a camera that allows you to give you ideas to create. Basically, there's fishing, there's golf, there's like a shit ton of gameplay variety. Basically, it's a game that basically did everything you could. And fans are hoping that maybe with a modern console, if I can make one that's even bigger and more variety. I guess that's the argument. I guess.
Okay, I've played Dark Cloud 2, but I'm guessing that's consistent between both Dark Cloud games, correct?
Well, Dark Cloud 1 was more like a classic Zelda game where it didn't really have a story. It was just like a typical dungeon crawl, and the only real standout feature was the city building stuff. It was Dark Chronicle that expanded on everything and added a lot more meat to it.
Oh, yeah.
Usually when people are talking about Dark Cloud and their love for it, they're usually talking about Dark Cloud 2 specifically, because that's the one that really, Go ahead.
By the way, Digi, you're probably wondering why we're occasionally calling Dark Cloud 2 Dark Chronicle. Well, both names are technically correct. Basically, somewhere else it was called Dark Chronicle, but over here we got it as Dark Cloud 2.
Basically, Level 5 called it, the developers call it Dark Chronicle, but Sony thought it would make a lot more money if they called it Dark Cloud 2 to cash in on the success of the first game, so there we go, Dark Cloud 2 in America.
I mean, I like Dark Cloud 2. I mean, I like it, but
all right, back to the game,
I never really
though.
got the feeling like, well, it's that different.
To go back to this game, when you were saying that they won't make a new game because there'll be nothing new, I'm like, this is the same company that's made the new Super Mario Brothers game, so...
No, but that's the thing, Deji. Wario Land Shake It didn't really set the world on fire, didn't really sell well, so they kind of stopped making them. I mean, Wario Land Shake It was basically their attempt at a revival, but it didn't really do that much money, so...
I don't think games...
It's quite funny. People who are saying there's too many Mario games, Nintendo do make stuff that isn't Mario, but that doesn't sell. So all they're doing is confusing Nintendo.
It's called people purposely moving goalpost dwibs. You'd be surprised how many people like to claim, "Oh, Nintendo was so
if there's
fall,"
one,
and yet they'll try and save face when Nintendo actually doesn't fall. When
here's the problem with your. This is the problem with you, Dwibs. You're expecting the internet to be logical about things. That's your problem right there.
Seriously, it's like oh no, we don't want like 1 billion Mario games every year. Okay, here's Splatoon. Where's the next Mario game?
To be fair, those are often.
What do you mean, Mario?
About Sonic fans right now?
What do you mean, Mario? What do you mean the new Mario Tennis game sucked?
Dwibs, welcome to every single fan base in existence.
In terms of platformers, we haven't actually had a Mario game. In terms of platformers, we haven't actually had a Mario game since 2013 now, 2 years now. So
yeah, Mario Maker.
Well,
Mario Maker's kind of a special case.
Well, Mario Maker did get an award.
Doesn't it count more as a simulation game?
A making game?
No. According to the Video Game Awards, Mario Maker is a platformer.
Sure.
And I can see it. I mean, there is a heck of a lot of platforming in that game, no matter how way you cut it.
Basically, Deji, Wario Land is, unlike the Mario Land games, Wario Land is not so much, there is platforming involved, but the real focus is the exploration. Basically, explore the level so you can get as much money and treasures as possible, so that later you can add up all the money you've collected. So, and the more money you gather over the course of the game, the better your castle will be. So basically, there's a lot of different
the real reason that Shake It didn't really set the world on fire is Shake It kind of forgot the main thing of being a Wario Land. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of coin hunting and a lot of exploration in that game, but you get the feeling that maybe they had the priorities a bit mixed up, especially when you get to the point where, they kind of forget the emphasis on money. I mean, the Shake It thing. I like it, but, maybe you focused on it a bit too much.
I don't think that many people. The
thing is, the developers of this, the developers of the original Wario games, I don't think either they've moved on or they don't work at Nintendo anymore. So they handed Shake It to Goodfield, the developer who would later go on to make Kirby's Epic Yarn and
Yoshi's Woolly
World. The same guys that are making Yoshi's Woolly World.
Yes, them.
Yeah. For all we know, they could be working on a new Wario Land game. Nintendo these days puts a lot of emphasis.
Can you imagine a yarn-made Wario game?
Oh, I would love. You know, what would be interesting. Retro Studios have a go at it.
Yeah.
Anything that's not another new Donkey Kong is fine by me.
You don't like Donkey Kong?
Oh, come on. Tropical Freeze was awesome.
No. Don't get me. I just think Tropical Freeze came out too soon after Returns.
Wait, not real. Tropical Freeze came out in 2014. Returns came out 2010. A 4-year gap.
True.
4 years is too soon.
But it's like...
Sorry, Teo. I mean, isn't 4 years enough?
I don't know. It definitely felt too short to me.
Anywho, Deji, as far as the old Nintendo thing goes,
besides, everyone was hoping Retro Studio will focus more on Metroid.
I mean, whatever next, is it going to be a game that comes out 10 years too soon or something?
Yeah. So here's the thing with Nintendo nowadays. They'll release new games for their series, but these days they seem to be extremely emphasizing the fact that they take...
what the fuck is that?
Welcome everybody to the Boxing Penguin Battle.
Is this what happens?
By the way, I don't think I've explained this, but the world I'm in right now, the ice world, is actually an optional world. You don't actually have to go for this world, but I'm showing it off.
Is this the penguin that I threw down in Mario 64?
Maybe.
What? Okay, in that case, he's bulked up quite a bit.
That would be hilarious if that penguin just came back and as an enemy.
Wouldn't be a first time. But yeah, the thing about Nintendo is they emphasize that they put a lot of time, and yes, effort included, but a lot of time into polishing their games down to the fine point. I mean, it used to be you got a Nintendo platformer every other year, but nowadays, Super Mario 3D World, that new upcoming Zelda game, which will come out eventually, hopefully this year. And
people are speculating more may delayed on purpose so it can be an NX launch title.
Honestly, I say nuts to that excuse. I mean, honestly, they've emphasized through. In fact, even as a stated, they've emphasized it is going to be for the Wii U. I mean,
Reggie actually specifically said there were actually fans who asked that, and Reggie specifically said it's still going to. Maybe they're going to pull a Twilight Princess and just release it on the Wii U and the NX. Probably.
Nothing stops them for still making it for the Wii U, but marketing it more for the NX.
Sure. I'm okay with that.
If that is the case, then I'm okay with it. But, well, from what we've heard, I'm not really expecting it to be the case. But again, we still don't even know that much about the NX.
Mm-hmm. The thing is,
we don't even know
it's not even just a matter of thing. Okay, I know I'm one of the very few who will say this, but honestly, the thing is, to me, when Wario peaked with Wario Land 2 and 3. And honestly, I didn't really care for the new approach that Wario Land 4 took, because they went back to the hearts, they went back to a little more conventional, and they tried for, I mean, Wario is supposed to be wacky, but I think Wario Land 4 was trying a bit too hard to be weird and wacky with the kind of bosses and enemies it had, honestly. It felt like the developers ran out of ideas, so they're just trying so hard to throw basically, the enemies in Wario Land 4 actually based more on Japanese mythology and shit like that. And Captain Syrup was also gone, so I just that's one thing I'll definitely that's one of the reasons why I like Shake It over Wario Land 4, because at least Captain Syrup is there.
Yeah. Anywho, basically, in regards to there being a new Wario Land game, if the team that dispersed, if they're no longer working on Wario Land, then I can certainly see why Nintendo would not opt to, make a new Wario Land game anytime soon. Nintendo's definitely aware of, the notion of, trying to make a sequel without, some of the creators, unless it's a very good dev. Like with Yeti Tokyo. Well, they're not called that anymore.
They should get Big Red Button.
Well, Joe, but the thing is, Yoshiaki...
Nah, I'm just kidding.
Yoshiaki Kitase... wrong name.
Kitase?
Sorry. Yoshiaki Koizumi, the head of Yeti Tokyo, he started out as a level designer for Super Mario World, so he's been involved with Mario since the very beginning anyway, so...
Well, since the beginning of the NES
not the very
series.
beginning. No, SNES twibs.
Mario.
Mario.
Okay, fine. I mean, since the very beginning of his career, like he knows Mario inside and out. I mean, he co-directed.
Exactly.
He was an assistant director of Mario 64. Even like he knows Mario in and out. So it's not like handing the series to him was at all a risky move. So
it's like with
Yakuza. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like, well, Nintendo is incredibly shrewd with picking, who to be the new dev team. That might have to do with why they're holding up on a new Wario Land game.
I mean, can we even think of a developer who would really create a true successor to the first free Wario Land games? Because I can think of one.
It depends on what you consider a true successor.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, way forward.
I don't think Nintendo would actually outsource one of their IPs to a third-party developer. I mean, unless it's something like what they did with...
Unless they buy it, like they eventually did with...
question, is the Wonderful 101...
Platinum Games making Star Fox Zero.
True, I guess. That's the thing, Teo. We've stuck like Team Ninja and Other M, and now this game. That's more
and don't forget the team who's making Hyrule Warriors. The team who made Dynasty Warriors.
Joe, but that's Tecmo Koei, I guess.
Yeah, the thing is, that's true. I guess that's a good point. Yeah. I guess way forward, yeah, but honestly, I'm not seeing Nintendo.
I guess you mean Western company.
Oh, it's not.
I'm not really seeing Nintendo partnering with
the fact that they let Namco Bandai help out with Super. I don't forget the fact that Nintendo also partnered with Namco Bandai for Super Smash Bros. 4.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't see that quite happening. Way forward, made some good Nintendo games. Like Shovel Knight is very popular on the Wii U, but.
That was Shop Club Games, actually.
I know, but the popularity of Shovel Knight on the Wii U might be a factor in maybe convincing them to get them to do it, but I don't know. I don't see it happening. It might happen, but I don't see it happening.
I can see it happening, but it would have to be Way Forward's luckiest day, I'd say.
Meanwhile, we've got the basically, Deji, I like to consider this music performed by the Philharmonic Farting Orchestra.
Yeah, Dwebs is not a fan of this music for some reason.
It's basically how it sounds.
I don't blame it entirely. It looks like well, it's not at the levels of Sonic 4 Episode 2, but remind me a lot of Dying Ducks bit of that game.
Those poor ducks gave their lives to give us this.
Always remember the Duck Army.
Oh!
Well, not entirely like that, Lips. Anyway.
Yeah.
Remember,
Oh, hi, Twomp. What are you doing here?
Again, to me, it just sounds like someone farted and they put it through Audacity and...
It's a game for the original Game Boy. Give it some bit of slack.
I know, I'm not bashing it because it's 8-bit. On the contrary, I like 8-bit music. I just think the way they've done it here is a little bit dodgy.
My guess is they wanted to have the Wario music to have a distinct sound from Mario music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To emphasize the fact that
Alright, basically, the keys I'm picking up serve to open these doors so I can get treasures. Each treasure is worth a significant amount of coins, so if you want, they're a good way to accumulate money so you can get a better ending. Here's one more. Alright, here we go.
You know, that's one issue I have with Mario. I mean, with Wario Land, the Super Mario 3D Land game. It's like, well, it kind of drags a bit at some points.
I don't think this game drags. I completed this game in 5 parts. I think the game is still. It has a lot of levels, yes. And
let me reiterate. I think some of the areas feel a bit too barren, and that's what makes them feel like they drag a bit.
I'm guessing it's because, again, they're focusing on exploration, which is why the levels are much longer than the previous games.
Mm-hmm. It's like areas like this. I mean, yeah, you'll have your occasional enemy, but then there's these wide spaces with, well, nothing in there.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm remembering.
Wario Land 2, that's why Wario Land 2 is much better. Wario Land 2 is the great thing about Wario Land 2 is that the levels don't also the welcome. They still have quite a bit of exploration, but those who are following the linear path will complete the levels much faster than in this game. And the great thing the great thing about Wario Land 2, alternate story paths, which can lead to alternate endings and shit like that. So that's awesome. It gives the game a lot of
yeah.
Is there an alternate ending where Wario is poor and has to live on the streets or something?
No. All of the levels are epi. All of the endings are epi endings. They just differ. They just differ in who's the villain or the circumstances specifically.
Because remember, there's an ending of the 8-bit version of Sonic 2 where Tails can die.
Just to give an idea.
Yeah, I know.
Just to give an idea, Dwibs. When you start Wario Land and the first level is Wario is sleeping and you're supposed to press any button to get him to wake up. However, if you leave him sleeping, the level will end and then you will start in a completely different scenario than what's supposed to be the main scenario. I'm not even kidding.
Oh, yeah, that might
the interesting thing is that I found that out by complete accident because basically I was starting a new game on Wario Land 2. And I just but I had to put down the Game Boy for a moment, so I left him sleeping for a moment. But by the time I got back, the level was complete. I was like, "What the fuck?"
Oh, by the way, Pedro, you are gonna show off all the endings for our playthrough, right?
Yes, I am.
In Wario Land 2.
Yes, I am. That's what the final raw is for.
No, I was saying in Wario Land 2.
Yes, I'm gonna show off everything. Don't worry.
Excellent.
I'll just show off anything that's actually worth it. I'll just show anything that's worth showing. The only things I don't show is stuff like the filler quests in Lautrec, for example, which there's literally no reason for anyone to see.
Or like with Space Invaders Invasion Day, basically every story in that game is exactly the same, just a little different.
If I remember correctly, I use
when it comes to something like Space Invaders Invasion Day, I just show off like all versions of the cutscene and then just show one playthrough after that.
In fact, actually, I didn't do that either because they're literally I swear, they're almost literally the same cutscene. The only difference is the characters' motivations and bits of dialogue change here and there.
Sounds interesting enough. Maybe for an extras part.
But that's the problem, Joe. I only borrowed that game off. How I recorded that game was that I borrowed it off a friend, and now he has it back. So
Dwibs, allow me to introduce you to a few familiar terms. YouTube, editing, and screw you to any devs who, lock cutscenes behind any unfair paywalls. I'm looking at you, Final Fantasy X!
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
I'm basically telling Dwibs, it's easy to get cutscenes off of YouTube, especially
No,
if you
I
want to
know
see,
that.
Does it mean 10-2, Jova?
Don't you mean 10-2, Jova?
Oh,
And 10-2 doesn't have any paywalls.
It's not a paywall. Jesus Christ, give Square Enix some credit.
I was using a metaphor, but
The problem
paywall was a
with
bad
10.2 is not a paywall, it's more of a guy dang it feel.
Yeah. Sorry. I was trying to think of a term, and right there I used paywall. I don't know what I was thinking. I meant I was trying to find a single term for wall of expectations where you have to collect every single thing. And to an extent, I do also mean Final Fantasy X because if you want to get the subtitles, you understand what that race of people are.
Thing.
Yeah. I was referring to that when I mentioned Final Fantasy X because, yes, I know, technically you don't have to get that, but I would like to know what some of these people are saying.
Don't worry. When I record 10, I will be doing a New Game Plus, so we'll get all the proper subtitles in English.
Does 10-2 have that kind of thing?
It does a bit, if I remember correctly, but all you have to... I'll just give you a save file so you can... Actually, no, you're doing the PS4 version. Sorry, Dwibs, I guess you're out of luck.
That's alright. That's okay. It's not like 10 and 10-2 are like the first one to have a foreign language.
If I remember correctly, Teo is free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the all battle language plays a very small role in 10-2, right?
We mostly say pointless stuff.
So case never mind.
It's in Final Fantasy X where it really matters, though, because when Final Fantasy X, I feel like I'm
literally replace it with anything. In fact, it might be an interesting gag replacing the Albert subtitles with inappropriate phrases.
There you go.
Pretty sure Spoonie did that. Basically, Dwibs, it's not so much a big deal in Final Fantasy X-2, but in Final Fantasy X, you do a lot of talking to that particular race, and it is quite annoying to not know what they're saying because it is actually a bit vital.
It's kind of like in Beyond Two Souls, where we see all these foreign people talk and there's no subtitles whatsoever.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And that's why I say YouTube, because the stuff you have to do to get the language of Final Fantasy X, I forget, was that 100% completion, or was that just simply...
No. Well, it depends. You can either get it fair by basically getting various items to translate it to yourself, or you can just finish the game once, and then it will allow you to do a New Game Plus with the whole thing already translated anyway. So basically, don't even bother with the Albert quest. Just complete the game once, and it'll be done for you.
Yeah.
Anyway, see you for the next part of Wario Land.
See you, everybody.
See ya.